Hey there, parents. Report cards have been sent out or in the progress of being sent out right now to you. You'll be seeing how your child is doing up to this point in the year. This is a year like no other, but still yet we have expectations that child progress and grow throughout the year. One thing that we have in place is standards-based grading. Now, this is different than the traditional grading that you and I probably experienced in school. We do not give children A, B, C, D, Fs here based on specific assignments, so on and so forth, or percentage grades. Even though in Infinite Campus you may see a percentage, that should not be there much longer if it is. Instead, we use standards based grading, where every child receives a number assigned, a number score based on each standard. And standards based grading, as we see here on your screen, this is what we have provided to students, and I want to provide to you to let you know how we grade the children and communicate how the child is doing based on every standard. So instead of a cumulative grade that is reading, they have an A, or reading, they have a B, that doesn't really share with you what they're doing well in reading or what they're struggling with. Instead, the report card states specifically every standard and how they're doing in each standard. Okay, so if it's a first grade math standard of I can count to 100, right, by fives, or skip counting things, if that is the standard, well, then you know if the child is doing average, progressing, then you know that they need some extra support. But if they get a 3 or a 4, they've reached mastery. So here's what this looks like. We have a scale of 1 through 4, and the target is a 3. That means the child has reached mastery. They can do what the standard says. The child feels happy and proud to say that they fully understand and they know what they need to do and they can do the work by themselves. Maybe just the way that the teacher showed them. Maybe just rote memorization of a standard, rote memorization of a skill is a 3. But then we also have a 4. And I wanted to explain that to you through this video today, that the target is for the children to master the standard at a 3. But then there is a 4 that says that the child could even teach other students. They have such good understanding that they could apply, explain it to others, apply it cross content, so on and so forth, that they've reached beyond mastery. And that's really hard for teachers to determine virtually. So not every child's going to get a 4. A 4 is going to be rare in most cases for children to get. Most children and teachers are going to strive to get to, at least at this point, a 3 in the target goal for them. However, there will be children that receive 2, and your children will receive 2s. Mine do. And that's the part of the point in standards-based grading. It's a progression. It's not a permanent grade. Traditional grading is a permanent grade most of the time, where they have a 70%, and too bad that 70% stays with you all year. Instead, in standards-based grading, right now they're a 2 on this standard. However, throughout the year, they're going to continue to work on it and try to get to a 3, try to get even to a 4, and show progression through the year. So standards-based grading is student-centered for growth. It's not an I gotcha or a grade we're throwing at a student and saying that's you and that's it. Instead, the purpose of standards-based grading is to communicate to you, the parent, and to the child and to the teacher where the child is in the standard and where we can focus to get them to the next level to improve. So this is our standards-based grading in Owingsville Elementary School. I went through this pretty quick, but what I've shown is a standards-based grading informative page on our OES website. I want to invite you to go there, and you'll see even more detail on standards-based grading and what that looks like. And you can even access our specific grading policy and look at it there as well, so you can get better understanding. But this progression is a good infographic that should help you as well to see where we are, and the images kind of speak to it, that the goal is to teach a child to ride a bicycle. They can do it, but sometimes they can get beyond and go beyond mastery, and that's what the 4 is. So don't think that your child is not where they need to be, or put the pressure on them if they're not a 4. No, they need to be 3. That's the target. And most of the time, it's going to be hard for the teacher to justify giving a 4 for a grade. There is not a direct correlation between percentages to 1, 2, and 3, and 4, percentage on a test or an assignment, or A, B, C, D, correlation 1 to 4. That's not fair, and that's not the way this works. Instead, the teacher takes a combination of evidence, multiple sources, not just the test, but observation to see what the child has done, one-to-one meetings they've had with them, like I said, observations of the way they've worked with other students in doing this, but also application and using the skill they have. They are working on that standard they're working on. It's not just the test. A test alone is not going to give the child a 1, 2, 3, or 4. Instead, it's a combination of assessments, observations, activities, assignments, homework, so on and so forth. And the teacher is the one that we trust to take a subjective score that puts all of that together, and ultimately will be the evidence to give them the 1, 2, 3, or 4 to justify assigning that 1, 2, 3, or 4 to say this is where the child is on this standard as of now. I know that's a lot, and I know I went pretty quick through it. I'm going to invite you to go to this page, Standards-Based Grading. In order to get there, if you go to our Owingsville Elementary School page, and you'll scroll down here to where it says Standards-Based Grading on our links, and that will take you to the informational page about our standards-based grading and how this works. So when you see on your report card, if you see any percentages, ignore those. We don't use percentages here. Instead, it is standards listed out with the number on how they're doing throughout the year. And it doesn't mean they have to be a 3 at this point. They might be a 2 at this point, and that might be just where they are, where every student should be. To get to the next level to a 3 might not be until winter or may not be until spring. Okay, that's standards-based grading. It's a lot. I've thrown some pieces in here or there, and I've kind of went in circles about it. But I want to invite you to read through this, try to better understand our standards-based grading so that you understand your child's report card and you can help them ultimately reaching mastery in all of our standards. Thanks for listening and putting up with that for that last 7 minutes. We hope that you understand standards-based grading better.